Welcome back to Wrestling with Ski, WrestleMania edition, at least night one. And I told you that I had something big for today. It's big. It's amazing. You're never going to see it coming. At least not as much as you saw it coming a few short years ago. Let's welcome the man of the hour. Without further ado, we get Justin.
Hello and good morning.
What's up, my brother, man? How are you?
Doing good, doing good. WrestleMania weekend.
WrestleMania year, it feels like.
Yeah, it's been on.
Not complaining, but
not yet, at least. Not until the card starts.
Give it to about 8:05 p.m. We will already be complaining. Why? Because Vince McMahon. Well, Vince McMahon.
Yeah.
He has an uncanny way of just screwing things up. Like the Fiend in the Hell in a Cell match.
Yeah.
I've never seen anyone stop. I mean, Mick Foley got thrown off, through, and everything, the Hell in a Cell. And he was damn near dead. Blew up scar tissue, like he busted all of his innards up.
Well, different decade, different time. More PG, family friendly, even though the Fiend stuff now has nowhere touching anything PG, but
especially not the ending.
No.
When he came back.
No, not at all.
But anyway, what would you like to jump into first? We can go Raw Tag Team title match?
Yeah. Let's so we're looking at New Day and AJ Styles and Amos. As much as I want to say the New Day, a few articles came across my feed, which obviously a couple interviews with Triple H. He seems to going to be impressed with what Amos can do. So I think they're going to win. As much as the kids want to see the New Day do it. Another thing, probably they put it back on New Day to keep building up their championship title reigns and all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to go with AJ Styles and Amos.
Yeah, this is one of those great times in my life where, like, what do you think? When they ask you, what do you think is going to happen, Jesse? Well, either way, the New Day is over. We know they're going to get the pop. The kids are going to be happy. And yeah. AJ, he could literally light someone on fire, and they'd still love him.
Pretty much.
Unless he lit the Fiend on fire, I'm pretty sure that would have actually that might have been the one to finally turn the people. But with the way they've been going with it in Amos, and the way they are with Grand Slam champions anymore, everyone.
Yeah.
How many times have we heard that word since COVID started? Grand Slam. That phrase is now the new phrase.
Yep.
Everyone's a Grand Slam champion. Jeff Hardy's a Grand Slam champion. Sheamus got this. Why? So he's a Grand Slam champion. The Miz.
Yep. Read my mind, Miz, 2 times.
No, he'll never be, 5-time. Spinneroonie. King Booker.
That's right.
Missed that days. But yeah, I'm giving it to Amos.
All right. Well, speaking of Miz, might as well jump into that hot mess is what I want to call it. But, the usual Vince McMahon, stupid and wasting talent. Really starting to grow on Damian Priest. Really love the way he wrestles. Love his style. Yeah, I know I'm hopping on the Damian Priest train. The whole character thing that can be developed a little bit more, but probably going to be Bad Bunny and Damian Priest. To me, it's stupid, but it kind of pushes Damian Priest. But why are we giving Bad Bunny somebody that's a celebrity when we could have somebody else on the card that could have another opportunity? Miz Morrison,
Hey.
Ho. John Morrison, underutilized talent, as we've all been thinking of over the years, in and out of WWE. The Miz, he's a loyal guy. He'll do anything for Vince. He's got a lot going on. The Miz will do what Miz does best, as far as the storyline's concerned. A little rushed on this one, but I think the whole card in general, both night 1 and 2, things seemed a little rushed, but hey, you got to do what you got to do with the whole COVID thing. But again, Bad Bunny and Damian Priest for the win. Interested to see how Bad Bunny actually wrestles. I hear he's been training way before this whole storyline started, so maybe he'll impress us with some actual ring skills.
Hey, I mean, for some of the ring skills that we've had for forever that we've seen, like, I mean, he looks better than some of the people. I mean, he took a guitar better than most people do. His face didn't really necessarily.
Yeah.
I mean, but hell, he took a guitar. They threw him over the hood of a car. I mean, he took more bumps so far in this storyline than Goldberg did before he came back.
Yeah.
And beat
Yeah,
Brock.
I have to say he's one of the celebrity attractions that really kind of jumped into it. You've had all these other ones that get involved in matches, and they're like, "Well, I don't want to do that." But this guy is really,
he's taking the bull by the horns.
Yeah.
And again, I mean, sadly, like you said, Morrison, I don't know why the hell they even signed him, or like how he hasn't had like a coronary yet. Because I mean, sure, it's COVID, but look at all the people that have been wrestling and having storylines during COVID.
Yeah.
He's literally come back and been Mrs. the entire time.
Pretty much.
And whatever he's doing on top of his damn head irritates the hell out of me. But at least we got Morrison and Priest in there, because I think that's a big savior to the match. And as it's WrestleMania and he's a celebrity, Bad Bunny's gonna win. They're not. I mean, the Miz is gonna put over Bad Bunny.
Yeah,
that's what the Miz does. None of us have to like it. I mean, I don't like the Miz, but he can talk. He's always there.
Yeah,
he always.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. His initial WWE Tag Team title reign, he did an awesome job with the character. Everybody hated him. He did what a heel needs to do.
Yep.
And everybody, it was like almost like the Triple H effect, where everyone would watch just to see his rear end get kicked, but then he would obviously get out of having his rear end kicked.
Yep.
Same thing,
Done his whole career.
Yep.
Like, and he deserves, like, I don't like, I mean, it's one of those, you could tell he's doing his job right. Because, I mean, because it's like, God, I want to see him get his ass kicked. But I'm still tuning in to see him. Like, we all know he's going to run like the title defense against Lashley.
Yep.
Ding, ding, ding. Rolls out the ring, grabs his belt, gone. I'm like,
yep.
Damn. I didn't see that one coming, but I mean, we all know they're gonna put over Bad Bunny and Priest. Like, I'm just happy that you finally turned the page, because there was a time where you were getting harangued.
Yeah, I know.
Hating on me because I was hating on you, but I hate on lots and lots of people.
So you mentioned bull by the horns. That kind of puts me into here to Strowman versus McMahon, because Strowman is a bull, very big bull.
Very big.
Your normal, typical rushed build up. It's all right, Shane McMahon playing the bully. Strowman obviously had history of being bullied. Strowman for the win, but besides a normal build up, it could be like when Kevin Owens and Strowman faced each other, Extreme Rules last year. Top of the cage, McMahon thrown off the cage. McMahon wins by default, and really, whether Strowman wins or not, he still looks strong, know. But something's crazy is going to happen with Shane. We all know that. Just something, that will still make Shane look good, but put Braun over. Even though Braun really doesn't need to be put over, but
he doesn't need the help getting over, but
it's a 50-50 shot. Like,
that's exactly what I said. Like, yeah, that was my theory on the match, like yesterday and all that. I couldn't remember what pay-per-view it was at, so thank you for that one. But yeah, because Shane McMahon in a match, there's one thing that's guaranteed. He's flying off of something. He's flying through something.
Of course.
He's doing something. He just can't help himself. I mean, between falling in Hell in a Cells to getting his head smashed.
King of the Ring, Kurt Angle. Yep, we remember that one.
With the solid. You're going, yep. That was his head.
Not working yet.
And then Kurt picked him back up and was nice enough to do it again and again and again. And I think there was even an again before he threw him face first, which I don't know how many times you have to get on the back of your head to pick up on that. Maybe throw face first. Why? Because it's not breaking. But yeah, even if, there's going to be something crazy, he's going to do something off the top. Strowman's going to throw him off. And regardless, if Shane gets the win that way, he'll pull off this. I told you you're stupid, but he won't be like, like, see, I won. Why? Because you're stupid. Like, yeah, but Braun has the moment. Like, Braun deserves a moment. I think Braun's more than underutilized.
Yes. Yeah. Another one. But, You
Look at
know,
him.
love the whole big monster push thing, but it just now with today's in today's era, I guess you could say, you know, the monstrous stuff is few and far from for the big guys because you've got all these other ones, other guys that can be utilized in different ways, and you know, it's not always about the big guy either. You know, I mean, your typical Vince McMahon, Roman Reigns, big guy. Braun Strowman, big guy. Bobby Lashley, champion, big guy. Drew McIntyre, big guy.
Big guy.
You know, but
Big
it's,
guy.
you can still now be able to take a small guy and utilize him to beat the big guy. So again, Shane McMahon, small. Braun Strowman, big. 50-50 shot. You know, I think that'll be interesting.
And it'll be, I mean, we know they'll put on a good one regardless. Like,
Oh,
no matter
yeah.
what anyone says about either of them, they both deliver all the time. I just don't understand how it comes down to this for Strowman every year. I mean, look at him in WrestleMania. I think he fought with the Wyatts at one WrestleMania. I mean, he had to have.
Yeah.
He won the tag team titles with the 10-year-old.
Hey, you know.
He drove home last year. Like, screw it. He wasn't going to be on the card at all. Drove home. And then 1 second, I got home. There's the phone call. Well, we need you to come back, pal. Why?
Yep.
Change of plans. So why did he get on the card last year? Because Roman said, screw it.
He even had the plane ready in his hometown at the Strip, ready to go, and he didn't even know.
Yeah, like, dude, what? No, really, get to the airport now. Huh? Excuse me. Like, you know, and now here he's getting a match with Shane, and I mean the build-up irritated, like the fake report card. I'm still going like this, like we're 2 weeks before WrestleMania, and this is what you're coming up with?
Yeah, I guess they tried the whole, I don't know, Attitude Era take on that, and that wasn't really well received. The sliming, that was kind of stupid. But again, PG era, you know.
No, but, bro.
Yeah.
We need to have, bring Vince Russo back. Bring Vince Russo back.
Yeah.
Bro. Like, at least he might have come up with, like, Geritol on a pole matches and stuff, but one of every 2 million ideas that came out of his head came up with great stuff, like Val Venus. I mean, he came up with Val Venus, obviously. But yeah, Strowman, I swear to God, no matter what, they'll look good.
Yeah.
They'll look good. He'll be happy. I don't know if I'll be happy, but I mean, if I get to see someone fall off of a very large, you know, from a far, far distance from the heavens and shatter through something, I'll be happy.
Of course.
Call me blood and guts, but, you know, to see Shane McMahon fly through the air, I mean, damn it, that's the only reason why he's here.
And yeah, I mean, he's got plenty of practice, so I mean, you know.
He has more flyer miles than I do.
That's right.
I got ran over, damn it. But another one, I think everyone will look good in the end of it. Move on to Rollins and Cesaro.
Yep. Cesaro on this one. Everyone says Cesaro needs a push. They need to figure out a way to get him in some kind of title picture, whether Intercontinental or Universal title. A very, 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 very underutilized
Horrific
wrestler. And everyone knows it. You know,
literally.
Cesaro, great technical wrestler. With the tag teams he's been involved in, The Bar, Shinsuke, has come a long way with character development, because at first when he started out, it was kind of just like Swiss Superman, blah blah blah. But now he's really come into his own, and you know, has broadened his character. But he doesn't really need a lot of he doesn't need a lot of character development anymore. He needs a good storyline to get him there. Like, Rollins and Cesaro, okay, you know, Rollins ran his mouth and attacked Cesaro, and now we have a match.
He's really good at running his mouth, by the way.
Yes.
He's really, really, really good at running his mouth.
Oh, yeah, he's really good at getting the crowd going and hating them. And
he can incite.
Yeah, I mean, even from the you know, I kind of dislike him because some of his suits are just, why are you wearing?
Yeah, most of the time I see him come out, and that's like,
like the old man slacks and the water high pants, like, I don't know.
And this is coming from me thinking he looks stupid.
Yeah, like, I mean, now that interesting suit, his Easter one he wore, that was kind of very flamboyant and catchy. At the Hall of Fame, he was wearing one with a whole bunch of flames, your typical, but that one looked good. But some of them are just kind of questionable. But yeah, it should be a really good match. I think it's going to be a back and forth, but I think Cesaro is at the point where he needs to get that push. He's facing someone a higher Carter, not a mid Carter, and Rollins. He's done so much that I think he's at a point where he's going to start putting people over to give those guys that have been underutilized a good chance.
Underutilized. I mean, there's any one person you're going to talk about underutilized, Cesaro falls into that. I'm pretty sure the last singles title run he had of any sort was right at the beginning when Oksana was walking around with him, U.S. Championship, like 8 million years ago. And since then, he's had, again, him and Tyson Kidd were a tag team. Him and Jack Swagger, which I still try to understand the we the people thing, because, like, whatever. Yeah, that was one. Shinsuke, the Bar.
Yeah, I mean, I loved the Bar, man. That was that they both fit together nicely with him and Sheamus. That was probably one of the best.
That was one of the better ones they've put together ever. But he just, like, if anyone deserves a push, I mean, how long has he been there? How long has he just been? I mean, they've stuck him with a lot of, here, go work with him. Yeah. And he's, oh, yeah, whatever, fine. But I mean, it's been over a decade, it seems. I mean, he's been there for forever. And he's way more talented than Heath Slater. And look how long they kept Heath Slater along. Hell, look how long Primo and Epico were on the roster. And he didn't even know that they were there.
Yeah.
Like, the guy has been there nonstop. He's a freak of nature. I'm ready to see him swing like Seth like 7,000 times tonight. That's all I want to say. I don't care about the match. I just want to see how many times, and how fast he's going to rotate that. The only person that actually stopped the man.
Yep.
The guy who finally beat the man.
That's right.
That's all Seth Rollins is good for.
All right. So speaking of being around forever and hopefully getting a push, I think that brings us to Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre. Bobby Lashley's been in it to win it for a long time. Forever. Forever. I mean, just as long as Drew. I honestly think the most common sense answer is Drew McIntyre because he won the title last year, not in front of a crowd. Not necessarily Vince is giving that to him because of that. But I think McMahon has finally come to realize maybe he should listen to his son-in-law and, keep Drew going strong. Especially once they return in front of a live crowd, I think it's gonna be, people are gonna be more attracted to Drew McIntyre. The whole Bobby Lashley thing, the Almighty thing, the Hurt business. Like we had talked about the other day, Monday Night Raw. I don't know, it wasn't last week, but the week I believe it was the week before, where he's looking all lightning and mighty and blah blah blah, and they kicked Cedric and Shelton out, and now that we're putting out hits to stop Drew McIntyre. Now we're going from the Almighty to the Almighty. You
can fill in the adjective. There's a lot of them to describe what he has turned into.
Yeah.
They neutered him, really.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like he was ragdolling, like he even ragdolled Drew.
Yeah, I remember that.
A child. Like he was literally that. Like this was like it. I'm sorry, like call me crazy, but minus the best story that they had going, which has obviously been the Fiend stuff, without him even being there. Look how many. It was like the reminisce of.
That's it. That's
Kane. It's reminiscent of Kane because look how Paul Bearer talked about him, and we waited like months and months before we saw him, and boom, like we waited and they drug the story on so well that this past week on Raw, I think they actually talked about the Fiend and Randy more last night on SmackDown than they mentioned them at all on Raw.
Yeah,
just because that was the go home for
when you can take somebody out that people love and they're not physically there for 4 months now and still keep them intrigued. And again, Alexa Bliss, I hate to go off the subject, has really come into character. Her acting skills are on point. That's the only reason why I tuned into Monday to see is the Fiend going to come back now or just that story in general. And that kind of reminds me of that era that we all love and we all miss. It's really intriguing. It's pretty sad that, I only tune into that on my DVR and then, scrap everything else unless I hear something come across Facebook that, hey, this was pretty good. Then I'll go back to my DVR and watch it.
Yeah. I mean, if we're going to stay off topic, God bless her. Like Alexa, I don't get how people are dumping all over it. Like, doesn't matter what they've stuck her with, whether she was barely wrestling at all, doing Blake and Murphy's manager stuff down in NXT. She was good. Then suddenly she came to the main roster. Goddess. Pulled that off. Great. Did the thing with Nikki. Great. She's pulling this off way more than great.
Yeah.
And to end that before we move on to but God, did Randy win that night?
That's right.
But yeah, I think they're going to give it back on point. I think they're going to give it to Drew just because of how over he was before we lost fans.
Yeah.
And how he, the giant buildup. He's out there. Claymore, Brock kicks him over, like everything that they did, and then COVID, and he got nothing. Like,
hopefully he gets a good Claymore to make the sound worth it, because we can't slap our legs anymore.
I don't know. I mean, did you watch Takeover? I mean, there sure sounded like there was a lot of, like, there were some kicks where you're going, well, I thought they weren't supposed to do that anymore.
Well, that North American Championship match, I hate to go off subject again, but
I'm good at it.
He definitely took a lot of hits to the head and areas of the body where it made the noise. So, toughness on him, man.
There was a lot of,
yeah.
There's a difference between, and
yes,
that that didn't feel good, but we got to get to the main event.
Yep.
I don't know what made Sasha and Bianca. I mean, I don't know which way to call it, but I mean, they just never give it to like the NXT people when they get called up. Asuka was on a tear, didn't get it. And to go back to the male side, Shinsuke didn't get it. Like, there's so many people that have won Royal Rumbles, and like they get to that point when they're fresh and young, and they don't look at Rhea. I mean, she didn't win it. I mean, obviously, the one time where it happened, the Women's Royal Rumble, of course, it was Charlotte. It had to be Charlotte. It wouldn't make sense. I mean, and the man, obviously, Becky had her thing too. But like Rhea got put down last year, and Charlotte got her thing stopped. I mean,
that was kind of, I don't know.
The bigger of the stars, like
another Vince stupid decision. Yeah. And maybe with Charlotte winning the NXT title last year at WrestleMania, which again, stupid idea. Maybe not to get into tomorrow's episode. I think another stupid decision is going to be made, and one of the said superstars in that Raw Women's Championship match isn't going to win, and maybe start a program with said person that's going to probably be inserted last minute, which I'm pretty sure everyone can probably guess everything that I'm talking about. But I think a proper build-up for Rhea Ripley coming up to the main roster needs to happen. You can't just show up, hey, Asuka, I'm challenging for the title, with no build-up. Within 2 weeks of WrestleMania?
They did it. Like Rhea's like debuting. No, they're not.
Yeah, again,
they said that they announced it. No, they're not. And there's Asuka. They're like, no, they're not.
Yeah, and Ripley could have just showed up, beat the snot out of Asuka, which Rhea Ripley kind of has that double-edged sword. Like, she could be a bad guy, but everyone likes her at the same time. And we could have just had that. Oh, look, Rhea beat up Asuka. We're going to have and then maybe the next week, okay, they're going to challenge each other. Kind of, even though it's a rushed build-up, you should have done it that way instead of just saying, I'm challenging. Kind of like the whole Charlotte Flair thing. And, of course, Rhea's trying to not be like Charlotte Flair. You just don't show up and challenge. They could have done that differently, but again, rushed card, try to throw things together at the last minute like every year.
The only person that has the right to come up and, is, to do stuff like that. And remember, this person also, he's not demanding anything. He's challenging you for that. Goldberg, the only person that can show up and say, what? I'm not demanding nothing, but I'm getting a title shot in 3 weeks. Like Charlotte, is really the only person that has the ability to just show up and be like, hey, hi, like her and Bill. Her and Bill, that's it. Like, if it wasn't for Goldberg and Charlotte, no one would have that right to just say it's mine, except for The Rock, I guess. He just shows up and like, hey, what? Thanks.
So yeah, I'm going with Bianca on this one. I really hope the transition of power that hopefully may happen sooner than later. Well, we all know McMahon's gonna go until he can't go no more. But I think with more influence from good old Paul, I think Bianca pulls this one off. I think it's like the build up with her and Sasha, where Sasha slaps Bianca and kind of
Taste
like
out of her mouth.
the Padawan and the master kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like passing that on. Sasha, she really does not need any more things as far as title runs. I mean, she's at the point where she doesn't need a belt. She really doesn't. It gets really repetitive. Um, you know, so and of course the Vinny's girl. If it ends up being a stupid decision last minute, that's the only reason why. Because we've seen Sasha in the past cry, complain. Vince gave her time off, to get her head straight and stuff like that. But honestly, I think in the end it's going to be Bianca, and I think maybe a wild card, and I don't think it would happen, but maybe somehow Bayley figures her way in there or something or other to maybe set up a feud, or just how crazy things happen at WrestleMania, like last minute stuff all of a sudden the day of, the minutes before matches. Kind of upset Bayley's not even on the card. That's
for the year she had and how much she held that down. Yeah, but I mean, this also could be one of those. I mean, we saw a lot of people do it where they were the company for all that time, and everyone's getting like their time off.
Yeah.
Like, so maybe they're just placating it really well. But as long as she doesn't show up with her godforsaken door and her ding dong hello, like as long as she doesn't, no one's allowed to. No one's allowed to have a single door. There's only two people that are allowed to have a random door in the middle of nowhere. And no offense to Bayley, she does not rate the APA door. It's just, but she should. I would be more happy to see her play a role in that than to see Charlotte get thrown into something again, because Vince McMahon is, word of the day, as we're going to hear it enough tonight from Shane, stupid. A bad idea from stupid creative. Pretty sure Jericho said that in AEW. I don't know. I've seen memes. I don't watch AEW. I have a soul. I don't want to watch WCW.
I got a DVR, so if there's something legit that I hear come across, then I watch that, and that's it. God bless DVRs, because half the stuff that I watch in wrestling in general, I don't even pay attention to unless a good article comes across or it's something that I've been invested in, and not a lot to invest in these days as far as storylines, except for can't say it enough. Fiend. Love the Fiend.
Him and Alexa. No matter what, I don't get why people dump all over that. I really don't. Like, that is the best thing they've had going the whole entire year.
Yeah.
And they just told the whole entire, again, look at all the things they did on SmackDown last week, not to be confused with last night. And then Raw. And look at how many times they had to throw all the women together for the tag team titles. Just have everyone there in each other's face. We had 30 seconds showing a video of the Fiend and Randy, and that was it. And everyone was happy. But with all that being said, I appreciate you stopping by, my friend.
Yes, sir.
We will do this again tomorrow, except it's going to be even longer because we got to talk about all the nonsense and see how stupid Vince makes everything tonight. Piss us all off. So,
don't forget, tag team turmoil match. I knew that was last minute because we like to do last minute. Lana and Naomi, just throwing it out there. Yeah. Everyone else kind of no really purpose, build up, storyline, no nothing except for, the Lana.
I tried to forget how stupid that was.
Yeah.
I completely forgot. Like, whatever. Like, that shouldn't be the tag titles, should have been on there. But with all the tables she went through.
Yeah, I think she's
that close. And they're that close, but they're in Orlando. They're going to be in Tampa. Naomi's from Orlando. She won the women's championship when they did Mania in Orlando. So, I think they're going to get it tonight. But we'll find out, and we'll talk about that tomorrow, because I ain't waiting up that late to talk about it tonight. That ain't happening. My old ass is going to bed.
Same here.
But I appreciate it, my friend.
All righty, sir.
We will do this again tomorrow.
All right. Thanks for having me, buddy.
Yes, sir. Thank you for coming.
Later.
And with that being said, I will see y'all for part 2 of WrestleMania weekend tomorrow. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate it. Peace.